Today in the garage, we are playing I Spy looking for our valve keepers.
Not my keeper.
Our Vanos unit is full of metal shavings.
Nope. Metal shavings, yes.
And we got 2 bags of lifters that we got to try and sort through, which is not going to be fun.
Seems like there's way more in this bag than there is in this bag. I just drove 3.5 hours to go pick up this blown engine and transmission to put in my E39. Let's do it. This is the M54. I think this is a B25. I don't think it was the 3 liter. I think it was a 3, or my bad. I think it was a 2.5 liter. We can obviously check that once we go through this box here and find the pistons, connecting rods, and we can measure them and we can find out what the actual liter of the motor was. There they are right there. We'll check the bore and everything probably later on. You know, some of it is not the best, but maybe a hone can clean it up. If not, then yeah, we will just send it out to a shop, have them bore the cylinders over, and we'll probably go with like the, I believe it's 82.5 or maybe 84.5 pistons. But we got the cams right here. Both of those, the whole wiring harness right here, we're going to have to go apart, go through it all, clean up the wiring aluminum, makes it look a lot better. We got a crank right here with it as well. We'll have to check on that, see what bearings we need so that we can get the right bearings, obviously, whenever we're piecing it all together. It also did come with this automatic, I believe it's the 5-speed, but it's just basically junk. We don't want an automatic transmission in this thing, so we're going to go ahead and take it out, throw it away. Not really throw it away. We'll find somebody to buy it. Somebody will take this thing, especially having a torque converter in it. Somebody's definitely going to want it probably, so we'll get that sold here soon. One of the very first things I want to do is take this 3D printed valve spring compressor and throw it on here and see if we can maybe get some of these valve springs to compress, go down, and see what we're looking like. I would like to eventually throw some better valve springs in it and see how high we can rev this thing. We're just going to go ahead and test it out right here. Push it onto these bolts right here. Should go down nicely, just like that. And boom, it's seated. Now we just take 2 nuts, put one on each side, and slowly tighten it down. And as that goes down, you're going to go ahead and see the valve keepers pop up on the top side. And then we can take those out and swap the valve springs out. You see how much room it gives us right down the top. Perfect amount of room. Let's go ahead and grab some nuts, throw them on here. We're going to go ahead and tighten this down and see what we can do with it. Off the top of my head, I do not know what these threads are. This is an M6x10, but I don't think it's M6. Why don't I just grab my thread checker and find out? So let's just go ahead and grab one. I tried an M6x10 a minute ago, and it didn't really feel like it went on there, but it could have just been my nut that I had. So let's go ahead and grab another one. Another good thing about these two is they're marked on the side. See if it'll go ahead and show us real quick. It might need to flip it around. There it goes. You can see M610. Very nice. Let's check it out on here. No, that is not matching at all. Let's try an M7. Just a hair bit bigger. M7x10. Oh, yep. There it is. Looky there. All right, now that you know your thread size on there, let's go ahead and go over and find a bolt that we can thread on here, because I don't think I can find the original one in all my box over here. It might be a good idea to go ahead and go through that all and see what all parts we got, lay them out, and then we can go from there. So like I said, I'm going to go ahead and get this stuff taken out, organize it all, just see what all I got, and we can go from there. Obviously, we're going to keep these good shop rags. Those things you're always going to need. Valve cover. We'll set over here on my other M54 manifold for now. You got your lifters. It's also going to be fun to try to figure out which one goes with which, because I don't think the guy marked it. Rear main seal, not going to need. I got an alternator, which is nice. These things are like $300 or $400. So we're going to go ahead and take this, take it up to O'Reilly's or AutoZone or whatever, and have them test it, see what it runs. It's got a ton of oil on it, and there's actually some debris right there inside of it. So it might not be good, but we'll test that another day. Here we got tensioner bracket. Hopefully the bolts that go in there. We'll have to look on my diagrams here in a little bit and then go through it all, see what I got. Motor mount. Stupid tray for automatic we don't need. That's going to be some, I'm going to make that into a bracket probably one day when I need some metal. We got some more lifters. And it seems like there's way more in this bag than there is in this bag. What in the world do we got here? We got about, I don't know. Let's see. 6 in this bag, and what's that mean? Fucking 18 in this bag? I don't know, my math's probably off, but God. Those will probably need to be measured and figured out, so that's not going to be fun. Thermostat, junk. We'll throw that away later. Another engine mount. Comes with the mount. Not going to reuse that. And the ground cable is just cut. All right. Oil filter housing. These are a pain in the ass on these cars, man. Let me tell you. These gaskets right here are basically just plastic after about 150,000 miles, which is literally almost every E46 and E39 on the road right now with an M54, M52. These gaskets go plastic. They are supposed to be rubber, supposed to protrude out. There's no way you guys are going to be able to see it, but there is absolutely nothing on this gasket material anymore. It is just straight plastic. If we pulled it off here, we could crunch it and it would just disintegrate, basically. It's junk. What we got down here? Hell yeah. This is honestly what I was scared about because I didn't check it whenever I was getting the motor, which is on me completely. But, you know, we got a cotton swab assortment. That's what it is. Cotton swab assortment. Need that. No, but for real, though, we got all the main caps and the main bolts right here. I was really scared that they were not in there because on the block, as you can see, it's sitting on the ground right now. If it had the main caps in it, it would not be able to be sitting like that. It would have to either be on the other side or on its side or on a motor stand, which we don't have yet. So we're going to have to buy one, and then we can throw it up on there. But hell yeah, we got the main caps. That's good. Ignition coils, we don't really need, probably won't use. They're probably junk, but you know what? We'll keep them over here just for now, and we can decide that on another day. All right, here's some hardware. This is actually a bag I think I was piecing together whenever I was there, because I see we got the Vanos bolt, we got the bracket for lifting the motor. Nothing in here looks like what it would be used for the what we're looking for right now. Ooh, yeah, there we go. Oh, look, he did label some stuff. We got right hand. Can y'all see that? We got right hand cam bolts, which is not right either. These are, oh, I guess they do have the nuts in there, so that's good. But it's supposed to be, E would be, oh, what the hell? It looks like someone engraved on this one. Y'all see that? It looks like it's engraved with a metal engraver. E is for exhaust, and then I believe intake on these are labeled with an A, I think. I'd have to double check. There's also a spacer there for the Vanos, and it's labeled front, which is nice. But yeah, this would be exhaust side. So we're working on the intake side right now. So let's go ahead and keep digging through. See if we can't find the intake side bolts. M54. Okay, B25. So it is a B25. So it's a 2.5 liter. Would have been like a 325, something like that. But you can see barely right there. M54 B25. It's really messy. But these are, looks like oil pump bolts, oil windage bolts. So everything on the bottom side. Again, something that we're not really needing right now. But we'll get around to it. Here we go. Yeah, intake. Let's see if he labeled them. Yep, intake cam bolts, and we got the caps right there. And you can see, like I was saying earlier, the exhaust ones in the other bag are labeled with an E for exhaust, and these ones are labeled with an A. You can see it has A3 on it right here, which means that it would be on the third from the front. So A3, yeah, 1, 2, 3, right about somewhere in there would be A3. And we're working way in the back, which is 7. So we just need some bolts for now, like we got right here. We'll go ahead and set them down. I honestly probably need to get a container to separate this better. We're going to 3D print some whenever we get home, so we'll just take care of that then. Let's take this right here. Let's go grab a rag, clean up a little bit. What am I doing? I think I got some free ones. Right here. And these are the good ones, too. These are a lot better than my rags, which are t-shirts, because that's what you do with all your old clothes. You know, you got to chop up your clothes into t-shirts, or I mean, chop up your t-shirts into rags, so then you basically got unlimited rags. So that's not doing anything. Run these bolts down and see how well this compressor works. I'm going to grab a socket. I think they're 10 mils. All right. Magnet, 10 mil ratchet, and extension if we need it. Let's hop down here and let's get it done. All right, let's go ahead and just tighten some of these down real quick by hand, and then we can go from there with it. Oh, you got to be shitting me. It's a freaking 11. I should have known that by now. I mean, I've done, I don't know, at minimum 2 of these, which I'm not saying is a lot, but ain't a little either. And on BMWs, for some reason, when you think it's a 10, it's actually an 11. Like with their intake manifold bolts, you think it's a 10 to get down there. And no, it's an 11. Now, I'm sure you could use a ratchet on this, but I do not want to risk it. So, there's a couple turns at a time. Make sure it's tight and compressing evenly. And then we should have a result here in a minute. It does look like it's moving side to side. So as soon as you get down on one side farther than you would on the other side, it looks like it moves. So it kind of gives you a good telltale sign of when you need to go ahead and swap sides. I'm starting to see on that right side though, we're getting really close to bottoming out. And those valves, oh yep, actually I can feel them underneath. We might be at a point where it's fine. We just need to push the valves up, I think. Let me show you guys underneath real quick. If you look underneath here, I bet these valves are poking out from underneath. Yep, what'd I say? Those valves are both poking up. Let's see if I can get something real quick and tap up on those. And then it should basically shoot the valves up right here. And it should show me the keepers and I can pull them right out. There's that one. And there's that one. Boom. Ooh, what's that? Where the hell did that come from? What is that? If you guys can see, the valves actually did shoot up now. You can see the keepers on top right there. There's going to be one on each side. And they should split somewhere. I can't see it right now. Okay, yep, there it is. You see that little line on that side? There's going to be one on the other side. They'll split, and then they'll come apart. So I think they're at a point, actually, where we can just pop them off. I'm going to grab a little flathead, which I actually just found right here sitting next to me. And here's how we're going to do this. We're going to take this from the side and go in here with a screwdriver. Go right on that crack. Oh, yeah, there we go. Boom. There's one out. Let's pop that other one to the side. You can see there. If you look on the valves right now, both keepers are out. You can see right here. You can see the lips on each side. You can see how that one back there. Watch. Let me just touch this. I bet they'll fall off. Oh, the valve's falling. But yep, there you go. And then if you look right here, I will just go ahead and push this valve down and we'll grab it on the other side. Boom. And then we have one intake valve and then two of the valve keepers. You can see here that it's actually not in too bad a shape. You can't really tell if it's bent or not like this, but we'll put it back in there upside down and we're going to lap each valve. We're going to go ahead and get on this other side right here and pop these keepers off. And then we can go ahead and release this tool. And then I will show you exactly what we're talking about with everything. So let's go ahead and take this valve out real quick. Really, all you have to do is just push down on the top. Now let me show you what it's like whenever we take this off. Let's scoot you guys back just a hair. There we go. Just so I can get in here better. All right, let's test this out. Let's see what happens here. There we go. That's not bad at all, actually. Not bad. Oh, shoot. There we go. And then this tool slides right up. So we went ahead and took about 4 of the intakes out, 2 of the exhausts out. Just kind of went ahead and organized stuff as best as we can. You can see here, each of these are going to be our valve keepers. I've never seen anybody do it like this, but I thought of it and I was like, hey, let's try it out. It might work out pretty well. So we got valve keepers in each of these little tape holes or little pockets, whatever you want to call them. Got our valve springs with our caps here, just our valves. I did do some exhaust ones off camera. If you want to look at these things, they are absolutely horrible. These things are coated in carbon buildup. It's absolutely horrible. Let's look at them compared to an intake real quick. Look at the exhaust on the left and the intake on the right. And then the tops. The exhaust is going to be a lot smaller than the intake just because we're flowing a lot more air into the motor than we are out of the motor. But just look at that carbon buildup. These things are not direct injected. They are port injected, which should not have this much carbon buildup. But, I mean, how many miles it has? It probably had close to 200,000 miles, and the maintenance may not have been the best on it by the looks of those valves. Let's go ahead and jump over to the rest and take those off, and let's see what we got on the other ones. So another piece left on this head is just going to be a secondary air valve. These are basically just from the factory. They are for emissions, a bunch of junk that we will not need whenever we actually put the head back on the motor and put it back in the car. This is something that I've actually taken off of my E39, my daily driver, and I have tuned out so that it just does not throw a check engine light anymore, because I don't want to have that pesky check engine light for this valve. However, on the E39, we also have a couple of check engine lights for a couple of other things, but those will be addressed later. Got a secondary air pump or air valve out. This is what flows to the big box on the left-hand side of the car. This little connector here, though, I might be able to use on the E39 for the oil catch can. So we're going to go ahead and save this, throw it in our box, and probably use it for something else later. We need to get the rest of these valves out, but I want to take this tensioner out as well real quick. This little secondary air valve right here, you'll just put a little plate. You can buy one. Bunch of different places have them, like Seems Legit, bunch of other ones. BMW World, I don't remember where I bought mine from, but it worked out great. Goes over that little hole right there and basically doesn't allow any air to come through here for emissions or secondary air pump, air valve, all that junk. So just something that we don't need, and we're going to go ahead and take off and basically block off with a blocking plate. Another thing we want to take care of is going to be this chain guide tensioner here, or timing chain tensioner. Oh, look, what do you know? I thought it was tight, so I was going to have to grab a wrench, but no. We just want to go ahead and take this out for right now. This is going to be replaced. I think a lot of people actually replace these with the M54 timing chain tensioners just because they provide a lot more resistance or compression. Oh, look at that thing. That is crazy. This thing might have actually skipped timing or jumped out there. I don't know. This thing has barely, like, you should not be able to do that at all with this thing. That is insane right now. Normally something like this you would not be able to do that with. Just basically has a spring in there. It's got a valve right there on the end. Valves right here to allow oil in. And normally on a brand new one, you would not be able to nearly do anything near like that. That is insane. Now that we got this out, let's go ahead and just jump back up to the top. I'm going to show you guys some more of these exhaust ones, just because whenever we're pulling them out, you guys can see how much carbon buildup is up on there. And we're going to have to scoot this head a little bit to the side. This is not the best way to do it at all. Working on top of the block is not the best way. But we're going to go ahead and resurface the bottom of this head and the top of this block whenever we get done cleaning all this up. We just want to go ahead and take all these valves out, get everything done, cleaned up, and see as much as we can and refresh the bottom of those valves as well. So now that we have gone ahead and taken off the secondary air valve and the timing chain tensioner, let's go ahead and jump back into these valves, get the rest of them out, and I'll show you guys what some of these exhaust valves look like, the rest of the intake, and we'll go ahead and get the rest of this finished up and maybe start lapping some of them. So let's go ahead and just take those keepers out, and we can pull the valve at the bottom side, and we can take them over there to the bench and get everything organized again. There's that. And then, like I said before, just push down on the top of the valve, and boom. It'll come out the bottom side, and look how nasty that valve is. This was a cylinder with grass on the other side a minute ago, so let's see if we got anything over here. Got a tiny bit, not too bad. Just a little bit of grass coming out this side again. A little crazy, but it's all right. And there we go. There's another valve right out. Perfect. And a little bit of grass. All right, now we're going to just slowly back these nuts off of here. And you'll see those valves slowly come back up on their own. And then we can just take them off and take those over to the workbench with everything as well. Whenever you're taking it off, you can kind of see it. That one's just kind of free at this point. You can do that, or you can just go slow movements on each side. Just don't go too crazy because you don't want to bend these studs at all. If you go too crazy, you might warp one of these studs, and then it might turn out bad whenever you're trying to put the cams back in because you might not be able to put it back in straight because one of these studs is bent and out of line. So just be super careful. Go in slow movements, and nothing will be wrong. And there they are. They're both off. So now we're going to go ahead and take the tool off. Comes off just as easily as that. You can see we had a little bit of grass on there from that one valve, but it's fine. Comes off, no issue. Take that out the way, and we can pull our valves up. This one has a little bit of stuff on it. I think that might have just came out with it, but there's that one. And if you want to look at how this oil was, I seen this a second ago. Look at this stuff. It is sticky. I don't know if you can see that, but man, it is sticky. This stuff is probably pretty old. We're just going to bring our valve right over here to our workbench. This is one of our exhaust ones. You can see all the carbon buildup on it. Absolutely horrible. Our keeper's right here. We're going to plop this one in the hole right now. Set the keepers to the side. Like I said, get a little piece of tape. Hopefully this don't mess up now. Don't lose your keeper. Put them right there in order. Obviously it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on. This one I did just in a straight line. I wasn't thinking, but it's, you know, whatever. It'll work. Tape those down. And just like that, you got your keepers in place and they're not going to move. I got my valves over here as well. Those are all going to be in order. So we'll go like that. Those are the keepers. There's the valve. And it's going from back to front. I did label it because obviously over there on the motor, it's backwards and I didn't want to get mixed up with that. So I just went ahead and labeled these, as well as here you got intake for I, B for back, and E for exhaust, just so I know how all of that works out at the end. Obviously, they may not be in line with each one, but that's okay, because I'll just go 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, and so on, you know. This side's a little bit more in line, but I wasn't thinking. I should have probably dotted it down each time and then gone like that, but all right, back to working on the intake side. So once you actually get to a certain point, you will feel it bottom out on these ledges here. The side of the compressor bottoms out right here on those. So once you get to that point, you just go ahead and stop. Oh, look at that. Look how easy that was. Let's find this other valve real quick. I bet I can do it with my finger. I bet I can do it with my hand. Let's see. Oh, no, maybe not. There we go. Boom. Got them both up. Front. Well, while typing that one out, I lost both my keepers. Looks like I'll be going fishing. Well, let's start fishing. All right, there's one. All right, there's two. Good. God. God, I gotta be smarter than that. I should do the same thing. I just dropped this keeper somewhere down there. I gotta start thinking. Yeah, start smart thinking. It's not still in the head, is it? I didn't get that lucky, did I? Did I? Did I? No. All right. Fuck it. We're taking this out real quick. All right. Now let's find the keeper. Where you at? You go in my bag? I don't see it in my bag. Not good. Don't see it on the crank pulley. Crank bolt. Good Lord. Vanos. Nope. Metal shavings. Yes. Windage tray. Nope. Look at this thing have gone. Make sure they're not inside a piston. Watch it be in the head this whole time, and I didn't see it. What the f is that? Not my keeper. What is this? Sandpaper? I don't see it anywhere on here, though. Let's check over here. I don't think it went over here anywhere, but maybe it'll give me a different perspective on it. What is that? Oh, that's a big chunk of metal. It's not good. I found it! It was in the bag. Thank the Lord. I got it. That was really starting to scare me for a minute. This tool worked out great. This thing was phenomenal. You just basically bolted it down right on top of each one, and it pushed down 2 at a time. So you're able to do them all in sets. Worked out amazing. I'll go ahead and link this thing down in the description so you guys can check it out. Get one if you guys wanted to get one. So like I said earlier, I got my keepers just set inside these little pockets of tape, just so I remember which each one goes with. You know, you got all your intake side on this side, which I got written down up here, kind of marked it off, but and then we got exhaust right there. These ones are all in order as well. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on all the way down. I know they're not the same, but it's okay. All the springs are right here as well. We're most likely going to be upgrading these springs, so they don't really have anything to worry about. Same with the keepers. Those will probably get swapped out too. But we're going to go ahead and get an ultrasonic cleaner on the way so that we can throw these valves in and get them all cleaned up and take care of those. Got a bunch of stuff laid out over here. We got the oil pump and the tray. Factory, like windage tray, I guess. The head, all the springs are out. We just got to get the rest of these seals out. That one we took off already. Obviously, the rest of these we got to get out all the rest of the way. Secondary air pump is out. Tensioner out. Everything like that. Pistons are all out. Here's the block. Everything cleaned up. M54, E46. We may even swap these out for the 84.5, I believe, or 82.5. I can't remember what the bore size is. If we want to bore this over, we'll just see how it is, have the machine shop check it out, and tell us how it goes, and then go from there. With the cams, we still have to figure out which one's intake, which one's exhaust. They weren't labeled whenever I got them, so we'll figure that out. All the lifters we got up here, just chilling out. Main caps up here. There's secondary air valve. Back there is the old top tensioner that bolted up like right here from factory. We also got the crank over here. We'll check it out in a little bit, see if it has any stamps for bearings to see what we need to get, as well as the block. I know on like some other BMW motors, there's a stamp on it, and it'll tell you what bearings you need inside the block. So hopefully there's something like that on this as well. The bell housing bolt did not come out so well. So we are going to have a fun time with that. It looks like somebody tried to already get it out and it didn't work. So that's a lot of fun. You can see it's still in there on that side, but the other side is completely just ate up. Oh, lordy, look at those. It's supposed to be like that, and it's like that. What do we got going on here? Man. And yet another one. This thing is just rounded out, hollowed out. I don't know what the hell these people were doing, but man, they need a lesson on taking out bolts.
After seeing that shit, we're going to go ahead and end the video here. If you guys want to see more of this engine build series, go ahead and drop a like and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next one.